Welcome to Infinity Tech. How was the Eiffel Tower actually built? Before the iron rose above Paris, the first challenge was to understand the ground beneath it. 4 enormous foundations had to meet one precise geometry.
Mark 12 degrees!
Because every measurement at ground level would determine the shape above.
Perfect alignment!
The tower's first visible achievement was not iron at all, but the removal of thousands of loads of earth.
Allez, allez, courage, les gars!
But beside the Seine, the ground presented a different problem. Water could enter the excavation faster than ordinary digging could control it. To build on unstable, waterlogged ground, the engineers turned the foundation itself into a controlled working environment.
Pull together now, lean into it!
Every stone and masonry base had to be positioned so precisely that the 4 future legs would begin their climb from the correct points.
Check that alignment again!
These foundations were deliberately massive, transforming.
Lower it down now, steady!
The ground was ready. Now the real transformation of Paris could begin, with roads, workshops, scaffolding, and the first iron pieces moving toward the foundations. With the foundations established, the next challenge was logistics, getting thousands of heavy materials to exactly the right place. The tower would require an extraordinary flow of material, so the construction site itself had to become a carefully organized machine. Before the iron could climb, timber became the temporary skeleton that allowed workers to safely reach it.
Take up the slack!
There were no modern tower cranes here. Only ropes, pulleys, timber, mechanical advantage, and disciplined human coordination.
Steady now, heave! Lock it in place!
Nothing could simply be lifted into place. Each component had to arrive, be checked, aligned, and prepared before it ever reached the tower. The tower was designed as thousands of individual iron pieces, and the first of those pieces were now arriving beside the foundations.
Lower it slowly! Focus on the rollers!
Organization was not cosmetic, it was essential. A misplaced component could interrupt the entire sequence of assembly.
All together now, heave!
In only a short time, an empty field had become a working factory, and the first iron pieces were ready to rise. Before iron could rise, every foundation had to be brought to a precise level.
Mark it at plus 2 meters!
And prepared to carry the tower's enormous load. The tower's famous lightness would depend on foundations that were anything but light. 4 separate bases were being built as one system, each positioned to receive a precisely engineered leg of the tower. On the Seine side, keeping water away from the masonry became part of the engineering challenge. Layer by layer, the masonry transferred the future tower's forces into the ground below. At this scale, precision was measured not in dramatic movements, but in tiny corrections that prevented enormous errors. The foundations were no longer just holes in the ground. They had become precise platforms waiting for the iron structure. The foundations were ready. Now the Eiffel Tower would begin its most extraordinary transformation, from masonry beneath Paris to iron climbing toward the sky. Welcome to Infinity Tech. In 1888, the Eiffel Tower was about to leave the ground, and the real engineering spectacle was beginning. The first iron pieces had to travel from the assembly yard to their foundations without losing the precision built into every component. The tower's famous curve began here, not in the sky,
All together now, heave!
but in the careful raising of its first enormous iron members. Once the iron touched stone, the temporary lifting system gave way to something more important: precise structural alignment. The geometry had to be corrected at every step, because a tiny error at the base could become enormous hundreds of feet above.
Hold it steady! Adjust by 2 millimeters.
The geometry had to be corrected at every step, because a tiny error at the base could become enormous hundreds of feet above.
Hold it steady! Adjust by 2 millimeters.
The tower was not simply bolted together.
Right here, strike it now!
Thousands of heated rivets would permanently lock its iron members into one continuous structure. For the first time, the 4 foundations were becoming unmistakably connected to the tower rising above them. The Eiffel Tower had finally begun to look like a tower. But the higher it climbed, the more demanding the engineering would become. As the 4 legs climbed, every new piece had to fit a structure that was already moving farther from the ground. Every lift was a controlled negotiation between weight, wind, ropes, and the hands of the workers guiding the load. The tower's shape emerged from thousands of individual connections, each one checked before it became permanent.
Pull it in! Now!
A hot rivet could become a permanent structural connection in seconds, but thousands of those seconds would be needed to build the tower. The diagonal bracing transformed separate iron members into a stable structural system capable of climbing even higher. The tower was being assembled as one coordinated system, with material, measurements, and manpower moving continuously from ground level upward. For the people of Paris, the construction site was becoming impossible to ignore. The iron skeleton was beginning to dominate the horizon. The first great level was taking shape, and from here, the tower's climb toward the Paris sky would accelerate. Once the first major level connected the 4 legs, the separate supports began behaving as one enormous structure. At every joint, temporary alignment became permanent strength through thousands of carefully formed rivets. The tower's unusual shape was not decoration. It was the visible result of a structure engineered to manage its enormous height and wind forces.
Steady, hold it right there!
As the tower became taller, the work itself moved into a new environment, hundreds of feet above the ground.
Lower away!
For the workers,
Watch the edge!
the Eiffel Tower was no longer simply a construction site. It was becoming a workplace suspended above Paris. The higher the structure climbed, the more critical every alignment became,
Lower it slowly!
because the 4 legs were gradually being brought together. From the ground, the structure was becoming monumental. From above, Paris was becoming smaller with every new level. The Eiffel Tower was no longer an experiment on paper. It was becoming a real iron monument above Paris, and the highest work was still ahead. At these heights, even a simple iron beam became a moving load affected by gravity, wind, ropes, and human timing.
Hold the line! Steady on the left!
At this altitude, precision became everything. The tower could only climb as accurately as its last connection. One rivet was tiny compared with the tower, but thousands of such connections
Rivet in!
were turning separate pieces into a single rigid frame. The 4 legs were finally beginning to behave as one continuous upward path, narrowing toward the summit. Every new platform gave the workers to build the next section, creating a temporary world inside the rising tower.
Lower the beam! Slowly!
With the summit approaching, the construction changed from building upward to completing the final geometry of Eiffel's extraordinary design.
Lower it down! Steady now!
After months of precision assembly, the Eiffel Tower was almost complete, but its final height still demanded one last extraordinary climb. Only the highest sections remained, but reaching the summit demanded the same precision that had shaped every level below.
Steady on the line! Lower it down!
At the top, even the smallest components had to meet the exact geometry established hundreds of feet below. One final rivet could seem insignificant, but together these connections transformed thousands of separate pieces into one monumental iron skeleton. The famous silhouette was finally complete in form, but the monument still needed its final structural details and finishing work. Completion was more than reaching the summit. It meant removing temporary supports and proving that the permanent iron frame could stand on its own. As the temporary machinery disappeared, the permanent structure was finally revealed in its true form. After years of drawings, calculations, foundations, lifting, and riveting, engineers could finally inspect the structure as one complete machine. The impossible shape was no longer a drawing. It was now standing above Paris, ready to become one of the world's most famous landmarks. The iron skeleton was complete, but a monument exposed to Paris weather needed one final layer of protection.
Check those rivets. Almost done here.
Every exposed surface had to be prepared carefully, because corrosion protection would be essential to the tower's long life. The tower was protected not by modern coatings, but by painstaking layers of paint applied by hand across its enormous surface. From the ground to the summit, the same painstaking process had to be repeated across an extraordinary amount of iron. The final inspection followed the forces through the structure, from rivets and braces all the way down to the massive foundations. At the base, the tower's entire weight converged into 4 carefully engineered supports, making these connections critical to everything above. The construction crew had transformed thousands of individual pieces into a single structure, and now the finished monument stood ready for Paris. In just over 2 years, an unprecedented iron structure had risen from an empty field, and Paris was about to see it finished. After more than 2 years of foundations, ironwork, riveting, painting, and inspection, the Eiffel Tower was finally complete. The construction site was becoming a public monument, and every route into the tower had to be ready for its first visitors. For the first time, people could climb inside the structure and experience Paris from a height that had never existed before. Every visible detail, from the riveted joints to the painted lattice, was the final expression of a construction process built around precision. What began as 4 foundations and thousands of separate iron components had become a single monument dominating the Paris skyline.
Its greatest achievement was not simply its height, but the engineering discipline that allowed every force to travel safely through.
And this is how one of the world's greatest bridges is built from nothing into reality.